Hello all, Alison here. Welcome back to Words and Pictures for a bit more tag time. I've got bits and bobs we've made in previous episodes on the mat, including this gorgeous resist background. It's so subtle, but it just has magic to it, and I just wanted to take it a little bit further. You saw in one of the previous videos me hurl some pieces together, just putting them to the side, and discover that actually I really want to use them together. So it's a couple of the bits of snippets of Seth Apter die cuts. I might even add some more because there's another one of those. So the element you're cutting is there, but the outline you get is just brilliant as well. And in the spirit of hurling things together, I happened to put down this more speckledy distress oxide background from some video yonks ago. I happened to throw this down on top of it, which was the piece I'd cut the birds from last time out at tag time. And I just look at how cool that is when those green birds pop through there. So that's, I don't know, the start of a journal page, anything, but that just comes from a happy accident of throwing two bits of paper down together and just seeing possibilities. I don't think that's where I'm going today. I also quite like them over this misty, murky background, but I think the pop of the green is too good to ignore. I think I want this trimmed just a little more finely because I really love the narrow edge of this. So I'm just going to try and replicate it over here by snipping off a bit of that edge. So I think that's going to make me a little happier about. Yeah, I'm almost inclined to glue those down straight away. I also want to get rid of that sort of bumpy bit at that end. That's better. That's better. It's just less in my face. I've got these lovely scraps of rusted fabric, which I've been having great fun tearing because then you get this gorgeous edge to it. Those are done, I think I did those with actual rusting powder, the PaperArtsy Rusting Powder. I can't remember if we've looked at rusting powder. Let me know in the comments if PaperArtsy Rusting Powder is something you'd like to have a look at. I just love the texture that gives me with those frayed fibres, the rusty colours. I don't know if they're going to be here. I've got some of the leftover birds from the last time. We used the contrasting pop of a rusty bird. He's quite cute there, like it. I do also like the blue one, just as a gentler sort of thing, which gives these a lot more prominence. So we'll find out. But one thing I think I do want to do, don't sound very definite, do I, is add some of my PaperArtsy grasses. I haven't quite decided which one or ones. Let's do this. It's a lovely stem, delicate, and I think what this will do is not cover up too much of this. I adore this one, but it's going to cover quite a lot of those delicate resist moments in the background. I don't think I want it in green because I think there's enough green going on in the background already. So I think I'm going to go with Beach Cruiser, always a favourite. Oh, look, I haven't even got the mat down. About to stamp onto my flooring. Out of the way, everybody. I've got things to do. Stamping to do. Okay, I've lost all my bits now. Never mind. Where was I? Yes, a partial stamping going off in this direction. Just leaning a little bit to the left. Oh, yes. There we go. And it's picking up some of these colours that are in here anyway. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see. I've zoomed in. I've retrieved a few of the bits that got lost under the mat as I just rudely brushed them out of the way. I think it's going to be another little stem of that. Slightly lower down, slightly different angle. Yes, there we go. And maybe one more coming up through the middle. Maybe we change the colour of it slightly. Just put a little hit of blue through the centre stem. So I'm just using the edge of the ink pad just to create a little darker shadow right in the centre. Let's have that coming that way. And yeah, I think I do want a blue one maybe coming up from the bottom here. So that's going to come into the foreground because it's a darker colour, just creating a little bit more, yeah, detail coming up from the edge. And I love that. And one of the reasons I've stuck to being there is that I know it's leaving me those lovely sort of white Gothic shapes free to operate in the background. There's some Archival ink on here now. If that doesn't come off, if you've got Archival ink on your mat and it won't come off because sometimes it doesn't want to, a little bit of rubbing alcohol will do the job, or even sometimes just a baby wipe. That's really making me happy. So maybe we want the slightly larger one down at the bottom, this up here. This might get a lot simpler. This might not want rusty bits of fabric. It might not want birds. At the moment I don't know, but just having those grasses is doing something really exciting to my brain. There's a couple of lovely ephemera bits on here. I might use this little postmarky one. It's not actually a postmark, it's the seal of an emperor. You can't go wrong with the seal of an emperor, right? Maybe in sepia, because that's going to give us a rustiness that's going to tie in with these. I seem to accidentally have got some number stamping already on this corner. That's fine, it's all good. I'm going to come under here with that, just pop him there. Oh yes, see, look, that's good. Do I want another of those? I think maybe I do. I think maybe down in this corner, sort of tucked amongst the grasses, almost entire. There we go, that's nice. It just has a, it's again about the geometrical shape of the circle against all this organic wildness that's going on. I think it's fine that he's fully tucked behind there. I am going to glue these down any minute because I think I might just try them the other way up, because I think that's how I had them before, wasn't it? Yeah, with the very fine one there. I think I like that better because this one's still a little bit weighty. I'm going to glue them down. It's a thing. If I fiddle around for too long, I start to second guess myself and wonder whether that's the thing I want to do or not. And I think it's time to just go, yes, those have been begging to be there for 2 weeks now. Just let them be there. It doesn't want to glue down now after all that. Go on, there we are. Thank you. I don't think I got any glue on this end. I think that's part of the problem. There we are. And on this one, so I'm just going along that edge and then hit a couple of those tall bits. This is why I like the fine applicator on my Cosmic Shimmer glue, but any acrylic glue, and if you need to spread it out with a coffee spreader or whatever it is, but hopefully you can find one that's got a nice, there's something about those along those edges that really makes my day. It's really interesting. I didn't know that that was going to make me as happy as it does. Let's have a look at some of this. Oh, well, I do like that rusty cloth coming in as well. Let's have a slightly paler bit. I love how it just rips as well, even paler. So there's bits of this that didn't get hit by rusty powder as much. I think maybe that, something like that. There's again something about the geometry of that is making me quite happy. Straight lines, it's not really geometry, is it? But it's the deep horizontal of those compared to the vertical grasses. And that's what composition kind of does for us. It gives us these things for our eyes to hold on to. I do rather like him there. And what will help, sorry, I've got rusty fabric clinging to me. What will help bring him into focus is if I give him a little dusting of red around the outside. I can have a look at a red guy, but I don't think he's what I want today. It's a really lovely pop of contrast, but I think if I give this guy a little edging of ink, certainly his feet, around there, under his belly, there we go, maybe even a sort of, almost a robin redbreast to him. I think he's the one I want today. Yeah, that's nice. And the other thing that, as you may remember, I'm very fond of doing with these birds is giving them a whole extra little outline. Somewhere I've got a brown pen. I want a brown pen rather than a black pen. Have I got a brown pen? Yeah, so this one I think is brown. Let's check on the edge of here. Well, it's brownish. Good. No, you stay there and there. Right, and I like giving them just a little doodled outline. So I'm following the line of the die cut. I generally colour in the beak a little bit. And I find this again just brings them into focus in a really nice way. Catch the feet, down the leg, and a little fan out of the tail. And even a double outline in places. Yeah, see, it brings him into focus in a really great way. And also adds to the personality. I mean, these dies, they're definitely some of my most used Thinlits dies ever, the Tim Holtz silhouette birds. I love them as a focal point. I think that's grand like that, isn't it? And he's looking off into the future, find out where he's going. I like that little bit of fabric there. Just wondering about another little bit of fabric. If I have a sentiment or a word up here, I think it might just want another little bit of fabric to bring it into focus. We'll see. I'm going to, again, glue these down before I get the chance to change my mind too much. So this one here, and I'm not going to do a full gluing. I really want those edges to continue to be loose and soft and scabby. So I'm going to keep that quite messy. Just glue it down in the centres, and then the edges can continue to come up and fray. And was it this piece? It looks too thick to me. I'm going to get rid of some more of it. So yeah, more threads coming off. I'm not sure I am happy with that white bit at the end there, so trim and then mess. Okay, let's put you here, because I was quite enjoying that sense of heading off into the distance with the rustiness. That I'm going to trim and then mess up again. Oh, not enough glue. A little bit more glue. Because I've been mauling you around, haven't I? There we go. That's what I want. Now you. And if I could get one of these to be even messier, what I sort of am thinking is, like as the mummy cloth does when you rip it up to shreds, just get, oh, there they are. That's what I'm after. Really just messy fabric fibres. They're subtle, but they're good. And I'm just going to let those emerge from behind him. Maybe even this wispy bit. Yeah, that's good. Okay, okay. Yeah, a little bit either side. So let's glue that and then glue him. And what happens with these fibres now. I like them. I'm going to let them decide exactly where they're going to be in relationship to him. Little tug out. Up onto the rustiness. Don't go too low down. Go on, up, up, up. That's it. That's where I want you, I think. There he is. Just going to hold that in place because he's gluing down over those fabric fibres. Oh, they're good. They're good. Just a little bit to keep them under control. I'm going to lift that up and show you just the delight of that. It does just want a little bit of wording up here. What are the words on this? Wild, grasses, silence, the silent wilderness, all the various shades of green. That's quite nice. And if I was clever, I could maybe stamp these words on something like that. Wild would be good, wouldn't it? He is wild in the silent wilderness. I wonder if both those will fit. Maybe stamped in blue. La 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 la. I might hate this, in which case I'll just go and find some small talk stickers. But I think it's worth looking, given I've got enough of this blue here that is the same blue he, in fact, that's where he comes from. So it's very closely related to him. I think I might be up for that. Let's have a look. And across there. Or it might just be too twee. You see what I mean about it needing the rust behind it? Again, to bring it into focus, but also to tie it together with what's happening down below. That rustiness could help us. Nah, I don't like it. Let's have a look at a small talk sticker with or without the rust. Back in a sec. I think it might be as simple as this one. Life was meant for a great adventure. Obviously, it's too much going right the way across there. But I think so where I cut it matters to me. Life was meant for a great adventure. Feels good to me. Life was meant for a great adventure is okay. Life was meant for a great adventure. I think it's life was meant for a great adventure. And because I've trimmed that at the edge, that's now too much at that end. So I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to take the ending off probably as well. It's a bit closer to adventure, but that's fine. And then I think again what I need, where's the blending tool vanished to? There it is. Just a little edging, so I'm pulling away from the edge just to create that. I don't think I want it over the rusty fabric. I'm going to have a look in a minute. There's that. See, that's the simplicity of that makes me quite happy, because then I'm looking at the bird and the rustiness and the rusty powders and the grasses. I think I don't want to cover up more grasses like so. Oh, not upside down, that doesn't help. I just want an approximate look at this. Sticky fingers. I don't hate it, but I like the airiness of that. What I might be going to do is put another even paler grassy stamping just coming up that side there, or maybe coming in here. Ooh, I wonder if we can fit one in there. Let's put wild back. We've rejected wild, so I'm going to go for a sort of secondary stamping look. So rather than dab my paint, just going to brush it on so it's quite soft. I'm going to come in and just tip in the top there very lightly. Going to come in and just tip in at the bottom. Yeah, that's making me happier. And then again, just with a light version, going to come in, move those words, just with a little edge there. And one of those side bits. That's good. Maybe another little bit here. Can't get behind him. That's nice. That's nice. Good. And then that definitely means I just want to stick these down here. I was wondering about a little bit of metalwork on these tags, on this tag. So I'm just wondering about maybe, rather than my usual twine through the top, I've got a couple of these. Maybe it's one of those, which again echoes this seal rather nicely, but I think it's too heavy on the top of the tag. Yeah, I'm enjoying this airiness as we head up. So yes, this is a sticker, but as I always say, I've always found it just helpful to add a little bit of glue if the top of my glue isn't blocked up, just for the sake of the long term and making sure that sticker doesn't go anywhere, particularly when I've cut something in half. If a whole sentiment falls off, that's one thing. If half a sentiment falls off and goes missing, you're left with for a great adventure, which doesn't make a great deal of sense by itself. It's not dried yet, so I've got time to just shift them. And then the other thing I'm wondering is whether it just wants a little outline, little doodled outline. No, I think the doodled outline being just his is good. Ooh, I'll tell you what could go through the top here, along with some twine, is maybe a little bit of rusty fabric. If that's at the top there, is that annoying? I'm going to see. You'll just have to hang around for the close-up in order to find out whether that's going to happen or not. Thank you, as always, for your company. I will link to this tag background. I will link, if I can find them, to these little rusty bits that were part of a whole other episode. The birds you saw me cut the last time out. So, yeah, hopefully you can find those, or I'll link to them. Thank you, as always, for your company. Comments, questions, feedback, thoughts, always welcome down below. Thank you so much for joining in the conversation. It's a delight to have your company. Yeah, inky fingers. Always the sign of a good time. Thanks so much, and happy crafting all.